make themselves a millionaire.
The trade to $1 million is insane.
But it's still possible for them to do it, no?
It's possible, but to say anyone?
How are people going to, in a third world country, make money to be a millionaire
Then maybe
when
the way to become a millionaire from one of those countries is get out of the country.
you can't just get out of the
I
country?
understand that.
I would only date
Are
a
they
millionaire.
millionaires?
3, 2, 1, go.
Hell no. Oh, crap. The person I want to date, I want to be able to show them, you know, all those experiences firsthand. Like, I've been with girls who have money, and it's like the worst thing ever. Like, for example, like the one thing for me, and it's a test I do, is like, for example, if a girl knows how to get into my car, like my Lamborghini, like you have to like specifically know how to open the door. I specifically let them figure it out. If they figure it out, that's the last date. Seriously, that's the last date we're going on.
I want my husband to
low.
be like a really good dad and be like morally correct.
skincare,
And
cosmetic
if he doesn't have a lot
YouTuber.
of money, you know what, that's fine. I don't know if men really are comfortable with that, to be completely honest. From my personal experience, they're not. They want to be the ones providing, which kind of sucks, but you know, personality and morals and like their mindset is way more important than money.
I feel like money doesn't define a person at all. Like if I'm gonna date you, it's for your personality, not your looks, not your money. I don't care. From personal experience, money has absolutely nothing to do with a relationship.
So I agree with you guys, but as a woman, I don't want to be the one paying the bills and taking care of their house. And so for me, like, you don't have to be the richest person in the world, but if I'm gonna be a millionaire or multi-millionaire or whatever it is, I at least want to be the person that encourages you to do the same. But I don't want to be, I've had it done before, and it's been the most exhausting thing because it's like, you can be the sweetest man ever,
Damn,
but if we go out and I'm paying for everything and I'm doing everything, it's too much. That's why I'm just like, I somewhat agree that I need you to be a millionaire, or at least be making enough money to where I'm fully taken care of. And then we can be a powerhouse together like Beyonce and Jay-Z. So.
I think a lot of the times it's different from a girl's perspective versus a guy. I think girls want to be taken care of. I think that's a beautiful thing. I've always just been the one to take care of girls and pay for everything. I think as a guy, you should be doing that.
But I mean, on this topic, my point is you brought up something saying, oh, if the girl doesn't know how to open up my car door, I wouldn't even date her. But I feel like, you know, I feel like it's ever so selfish because you feel like, oh, I want to get happiness by making this girl, you know, spending money on her. But at the same time, I feel like the only binding factor in your relationship is money at that point, right? Because if you stop providing money to her, then she gets used to that lifestyle. Then she's like, okay, I'm gonna find someone else.
The reason I say that is because I wasn't looking at it like a sense of like that, but more like getting used for it. Like, girls will want to go on dates with you because you can take them to that dinner. You know, they want all of that. So I feel like that's very common that they will use you for that. And it's like it's a thing I'm scared of, you know, like it's happened to me many times. So it's like, I said it like that and it sounded kind of crazy. And everyone was like, oh, what the hell? But like, you know what I mean, you know? Like, it's common. Girls will only come to you because you have the Lambo, because you make the money, and they don't care about you, you know? So that's what I was kind of going at. I like a girl who just doesn't care about money at all, you know?
Something that I do whenever I meet people is I don't tell them my name. I don't tell them my Instagram. I don't want them to be able to search me up, know how much money I make, know where I live, and know the lifestyle that I live, because that's how I avoid people using me for money.
Yeah, I have 2 different Instagrams, so like.
Me too, me too.
I have one Instagram I'll send to them, and like, if, you know, it's kind of test, you know? If they look through it, there's no cars, nothing flashy, it's like me and my mom and like Marshall's clothing. And like, if they with that, like, then we go on, you know?
Hey,
No, I actually have a rule. If you know who I am, you're officially like off the list. Like, I cannot talk to you at all. Because
Oh my God.
what happens is
Poor guys.
in the past, like when I've met guys and they know like what I do, we'll go out and I'm like, okay, we're going out to dinner, you know, I look nice and everything. And then they're like, so do you know if you could teach me how to trade? Oh. And I'm like, okay. And it's just like dread the rest of the night.
There's no way that's happening.
No.
Like, there's a guy
He
that
like pulls out like a notebook.
It's
He's
like the
ready.
number one thing. My name is Kelly OG, and I am the biggest secret that you've probably never heard, which is okay because it's a secret. My net worth is about $20 million.
What do you think makes you a great entrepreneur?
My relentlessness to never give up. I've never believed that I couldn't do anything. Even in the cases where it was probably not the most likely, I've just always worked towards it, saying, one day it's gonna come, and I think that work ethic and tenacity just continue to compound and roll over and snowball itself into what I have today.
It is easier to make money if you're white.
Hell
3,
yeah.
2, 1, go.
Y'all better go the hell over there. Y'all better stop.
My mentor is not white, and he's worth $204 million. So I think I've seen it firsthand. You know, most of my friend group is not whites, and they do very well for themselves.
I would say you're almost an exception with what the majority is. I think majority-wise, if you look at just the demographic of the United
Feel what I'm
States,
saying?
you know, whenever you think of trust fund babies, whenever you think of houses in the Hamptons, whenever you think of that luxury lifestyle,
bro, it's white.
It's not usually the black demographic or people of color in general. For example, when slavery was a thing, white people had a 200-year head start to start their businesses, to set up their families for success and all that. So when black people finally had the opportunities, which was not until recently, 1965, to really be in the same rooms as white people, you're looking at a large discrepancy in time and success and achievement. So I think just naturally in general, white people are taking it serious because of the stereotypes that have been put on people of color. So that's where I'm like, I agree with that statement, not saying that people of color cannot be successful, but just saying that it's more likely for someone who is white to have better opportunities than someone who isn't.
I mean, maybe in past generations, what you're saying is 100% true, right? If you're based on race, people perceive you differently. But I feel like now this new generation, you can become wealthy from the internet, right? Like you're in Forex, I'm in crypto. I don't have to have any face on the products I create. It doesn't matter what race I am, because if they don't know who I am selling the products to them, I don't think it's at, you know, valid as a point today than it used to be in previous generations.
I agree. Your face doesn't always have to be tied to it. So, I mean, she changed my mind a little bit because I feel like I was a little bit too harsh, because you did make like a really good point. Statistically, you were 150% correct. Like, you were right. But I think in my firsthand experience, just the people I've been around, a lot of them are not white and they are successful. So that's why I was like all the way to the right. Now I'm like here.
I think we forget that not everybody's job is online, and not everybody's job you can hide behind a screen, and most people work everyday jobs in person doing, you know, customer service where people have to look at them. So I think if we're talking about if it's easier to make money as a white person, I would say yes, because applying to jobs, most of the time if they go into an interview and they're a person of color, they're probably less likely to get that job than a white person. And also, a white person is probably gonna get paid more than a person of color. We've seen it in the statistics, so I think it is easier to make more money as a white person.
I think two things specifically. For one, although I'm right here, Indians make the most amount of money in America when it comes to any racial demographic group, which is great, so shout out to the Indians. But two, with that being said, I remember when I started my business, I had a very in-depth conversation with my father, and he said, Jay, if I were you, I would highly recommend staying behind the scenes and letting a white man run the business, because they get along with people a little bit better than we do, just because people don't understand Indians. But even in that, you could, you know, develop yourself to be a great CEO regardless. I mean, there's huge companies in America that they're all ran by Indian Americans or Indians.
Starbucks.
I mean, whether it's Google, whether it's Microsoft, I mean, these are all ran by Indian Americans. I'm Jay, I'm the CEO and principal of Youre. A quick 30 seconds in regard to who I am. I started programming at the age of 9. At 11, I started freelancing. I got my first contract with a local salon to build their website. And then at 14 is when I got my first large contract with a Fortune 500 company. At 15, I dropped out of high school to pursue my agency full time. And at 18, I moved to Dallas, Texas. I'm originally from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
I'm Isabella, and I'm a designer, entrepreneur, and reality TV star. I started out on reality TV on the show Toddlers and Tiaras. I was 6 years old when I was named one of the youngest self-made millionaires, and I really loved fashion, so I created my first brand, which was a suit and blazer line, sold that to JCPenney for private labeling, started a jewelry company where you win accomplishment bracelets. I created House of Bready, which is now my global business, which has made me more than $1 million now. And I'm also writing a book called A Teen's Guide to Business to show people how to become who I am today.
I have flaunted my wealth. 3, 2, 1, go.
Everybody.
I was bullied as a kid, so flaunting my wealth was kind of my way of saying, hey,
this
I
nigga
made
always
it.
talking.
And then kind of looking back at it, I wasn't as satisfied as I thought I would be. Like, I thought like, oh, I got the Lambo, and like, everyone's like, oh my God, you know?
I agree, and like, I feel like I don't flaunt it, but like I've worked very hard. So if I want to post my nice car, I'm gonna post my nice car because I made the money to buy that. If I want to post me buying something at Gucci, I'm gonna do that because I worked hard for that. It's not flaunting. It's
I got chicken and bread.
more of like self, you know.
You're proud.
Cheese.
Yeah, I'm proud of it. Exactly.
Saucies.
Do you ever feel guilty doing that? Because sometimes I
Yes.
do.
Yeah.
In my like, yeah.
Oh my.
Like I agree with you on the I used to get bullied like crazy. I just feel guilty because I'm like some people just they won't have this opportunity or maybe they will, but I just like my mindset around it. I feel bad sometimes, but at the same time, it's not like we're trust fund kids. We worked for it.
Anyone have a trust fund?
I wish.
No.
I wish.
Okay, continue.
I definitely remember when I first started making a little bit of money, I would have those little corny Instagram flexes on your story. I won't lie.
Like the
Like the watch.
watch.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was like
Watch on the steering wheel.
Right, it was like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But I think as I've grown up a little bit, it's not really. I don't do it as much.
I've just posted a video flying first class. Almost every single one of my thumbnails have NYC penthouse in it. So I do, I strongly agree because I do flaunt it. But for me, the reason why I do it is, first of all, it's clickable. Everyone wants to, see how does she do that? But also people can go back and see how I started and see how I grew myself up to there. And I get a lot of comments all the time being like, wow, it's so cool seeing you grow up from living in your friend's basement to now a penthouse. And I think the difference for me, instead of feeling like I'm showing off and stuff, is because I'm showing people how I did it in hopes to inspire people that aren't living this lifestyle, that maybe lived the lifestyle that I used to, that it is achievable, and that if they want to live this lifestyle, potentially they could. My name is Mai. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm also the founder of my clothing line, Alchemy. I'm 20 years old now, but I made my first million when I was 18. I've just been doing YouTube for a very, very, very long time, but I feel like when I was younger and I wasn't making that much money, I learned how to budget my money a lot. So honestly, what drives me to do what I do every single day is just to be able to provide for the people around me and to be able to inspire as many creatives as I possibly can. Like that is my main motive at this point. It's not for financial purposes anymore.
My name is Yusuf, and I'm a crypto entrepreneur. I was learning stocks and investing at quite a young age. I'm 10 years old, and I go into drop shipping. Then after around maybe like 20 attempts of failed stores, I hit one really big hit. And then in 2018, I bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other altcoins like Zilliqa and VeChain. And in 2021, I created my own cryptocurrency, and I started helping other people by building their cryptos for them. It was like, it was a level up system. I did this, then I wanted that, and it just kept progressively getting better, I feel.
We should do a group trip to St. Bart's.
No, like please.
Yes.
We should actually.
Can you
that'd be
please do a group trip, y'all?
You're paying, right?
Of course. Liz, are you free next week? We're all going to St. Bart's. We'd love for you to come.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to. Let me
Just like that?
collect all my credit cards.
Oh, we should actually.
You know how crazy that would
We
be?
should, dude. We'll go here to Miami, dude.
All right. We'll make it happen.
All right, let's get serious, guys.
What do you mean? We are serious.
Them niggas just talk out of nowhere.
Jokes.
I would be a different person if I didn't have this money. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hell yeah. Y'all better stop. Some of y'all would.
If I have money or not, I'm still the same person. I always preach on my social media, just be authentic and be you, and people will love you for who you are.
I think for me, when I didn't have money and I was living at my parents' house, I had a lot of mental health issues. I was depressed and I was suicidal, and I think having the money to be able to move myself out of that environment completely changed my life. Having money has boosted my confidence so much, just in a way where I have a nose job, so I was able to do that. And I used to look in the mirror every single day and just cry and cry and cry because I thought I was so ugly. And having money now to be able to live wherever I want, live with whoever I want, and being able to, change things about my appearance. So I think that money completely changed my life, and without it, my personality wouldn't even be the same. Because when I was younger and I was in that toxic household where my parents were arguing about money every single day, day, that made me such a negative person. I was not the optimistic, positive person that I am today. And I think that having money and getting myself out of that has completely changed my personality.
You know, I would agree money gives you a lot of opportunities, allows you to afford a lot of things, get out of the community. And I want that experience for everyone. So I love that you were able to take care of not only your family, but how your confidence is and allows you to hold your head higher. I love that for you. I think there's a saying that money doesn't change you. It amplifies who you already are. If you're usually a selfish person, you're gonna think everybody sees you for the money for the most part. You're gonna think everyone needs to owe you. If you're a cocky person, you're gonna make the money define who you are.
Just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, I genuinely feel like I'm the same kid as I was when I started programming at the age of 9. Like just a hardworking kid that wanted to make something out of himself. I feel as if I was just in college right now, I would still be like working hard at school, trying to improve myself. I'm still the same guy. I might dress a little bit nicer and eat better food, but fundamentally the same kid.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what you're saying, that, you know, your fundamentals stay the same. But to say you were the same person when you were 9 till you were now, right? I mean, like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe there's an alternate version of yourself that wasn't successful. If you go look at that, have a conversation with that person, you can't say, oh, me and him are the same. I feel like to be strongly disagree is a bit too harsh. I feel like, you know, experiences have definitely shaped your being.
You trying to be somebody that you're not.
I'm trying to think of where I would be at. Like, I feel like, yes, I still am the same.
That's very fair.
Yeah, I feel like I still am the same person. Like, I still like the same things, but like he said, experiences 100% shape you. Like, the people you're around, that rubs off. And right now, my best friends in high school are like cracking like 100 beers a day and like posting on their Snapchat story. It's like, I would be with them right now. So I would 100% not be the same person. You know, now I'm doing different things.
That's a really good example. So I feel as if although the experience would be different, as an individual, I genuinely feel I'm the same guy. Always worked hard. I mean, I have immigrant parents. So I always had a little bit of a burden on my head. It transitioned very organically for me to become an entrepreneur. And I think that's the difference. But that's why I also had to go to disagree in terms of, actually, maybe I'll go to somewhat disagree.
I had a question. You've been talking about work ethic a lot, but do you think that it's changed your confidence or the way you view certain things? Like, aside from work, do you think it's changed you?
Work ethic, I think, is single-handedly the most important thing when it comes to any success in life. Like, I used to be a very chubby and overweight guy. I got my shit together and dropped my ignorance, did all the research, and I ended up getting into really good shape. So that all really just comes from your work ethic at the end of the day.
As a society, the number one thing we chase is money, because money is what all of our problems kind of lie under, what the bills lie under, what just living a life lies under, what eating lies under. And so for a lot of people, they don't have the opportunities, they don't have the freedom, they don't have the breathing room. So every single day is just chasing money and living paycheck to paycheck.
That's fake.
When you do have money, you can take a step back and be like, okay, all of that's taken care of. Let me focus on me, let me focus on my relationships, let me focus on repairing things. So I think that's a really big privilege that I think we do have. And I think it's subjective to all of us. Like, we all have different experiences. So I think money has changed people, but I think the connotation is always a bad thing. And that's why people fight so hard for, no, money hasn't changed me. But I think even when money does change you, it can be for good.
Exactly.
You know, and so I think it's just subjective to how we feel individually about it.
I feel like all of us are very like open to conversation and no one's arrogant or like being rude. So very happy. I was a little scared walking into this. Were you guys? Was anyone else scared?
Yeah, I was like,
Oh, there was SFX going on in my ear going, da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. That was my heart. That was my heart.
I was nervous.
That nigga just fly right there, bro.
I'm not shy.
Look
but
at him.
I'm like scared of what other people think of me in a way.
Overall, it's been pretty great so far. So excited for the rest.
So far, reset.
you're like, girl, we ain't done.
don't do that.
I'm Fiona. I'm a founder and CEO. I'm also a YouTuber. So I started making money at the age of 8 from acting and modeling. Then I started making more money at the age of 10 from YouTube. By the age of 18, I became a millionaire through YouTube AdSense, sponsorships, my brand, and now it is expanding a lot. So it's growing quickly, which is really insane. And I'm still 19. I'm still a teenager.
I am lonely. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, man.
He said, my man.
Forget y'all.
I think, like, in a work aspect, no, I'm not lonely. In a personal aspect, absolutely. Like, a lot of my friends, we don't do the same things. I love them to death. They have great morals. They're great people. But like mentally wise, it's very different. And like I just feel different. I feel lonely.
I prefer being kind of alone.
Oh,
me too. I've grown to like it.
I enjoy it a lot.
I enjoy
to be
alone
honest
time.
with you. Like sometimes I literally just want to go out at night and just drive alone or just be in my house alone. I'm kind of an antisocial person because I was forced to be like that as a young kid because people did not like me. They bullied me. They did not want to spend time with me. So I guess that kind of molded me into being like preferring to be.
You know that nigga.
It's hard to
flex on
find
them niggas,
like-minded
bro.
18, 19, and 20
Right.
year olds.
And actually, I was gonna say, being in this room right now, that completely, I was like,
That's like the
you know
first
what?
time I don't feel lonely. Like all my friends are 24, 25, 26,
Yeah,
27.
I'm the
Same.
same way. Like,
Same. Oh my God.
They're all about to
Older.
have like kids, and I'm
My
like,
friends are getting married.
yeah, you
I'm
know?
like, what the?
And like this is like the first time
is
I've been able to have
Yeah.
like a educated conversation with someone my age. Like usually an 18, 19-year-old's like, yeah, dude, college party, man, tonight. Like, let's go. Like, you know,
Yeah,
but
I
this
feel
is like,
lonely in that sense too. I think when it comes to actually having friends, I ain't
It's
got no
hard.
friends.
I ain't got nobody.
It's
really hard.
because there's always a difference. I mean, if you're talking about, it gets to the point if I want to hang out with my friends, then I'm the one paying for everything, and it's a really difficult position
Yeah.
for me. Like one of my biggest prayers that I've been praying for like the last year is for God to introduce me to girlfriends, like friends that are girls that are doing the same thing I'm doing. They're doing really well. I think it's awesome that we're all in this room.
I'm
But,
I'm happy that we all did this.
Yeah.
so wait, you guys aren't lonely? Like you don't like to be lonely?
Yeah.
Look at
Like
them.
I,
Look at them.
I feel like I thought
Like,
you were gonna be like you're a
They're
crypto
just
trader.
flexing on
Like,
us. Like,
I mean, like, I enjoy my own company, you know. I love just spending time myself, going on walks, etc. But like, have big networks of other like-minded crypto people and different traders. So maybe I'm blessed in that sense. Like maybe some of you are saying, like, I know you were saying that you don't have people you could talk to about like your age who are like, you know, into the Forex industry. And I feel like I'm surrounded with a lot of people. Maybe they are older, but I don't mind that. I don't mind having friends who are 24, 25, 26, you know?
you don't? I do.
I
So I
don't.
feel like they don't have the same problems as me. Like, you know what I mean?
Really?
Like,
I
I'm
think
like
that's-
still trying to find like my first girlfriend that's gonna
Really?
last more than
Yeah,
a
but
year.
they were
you know?
17 once, right? Or they were 17, 18 once. So
Yeah,
if
but
you talk to them, then they
it's
would
not.
have.
It's different when you're not in the
it's not
same
the
because
same if you're
they
not.
look at you different. You
They
know, they
look
look
at
at
you
you
like
as
a
like a
parent, bro.
son or like that's my
Yeah.
relationship with
Oh,
my older
seriously?
friends. Like they're my mentors. I look up to them for business advice. But there's a little bit of a personal disconnect that I feel. You know, and I'm
Yeah.
surprised you guys don't feel that. That's why I was so shocked.
Do you guys think you had a childhood?
No.
Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah.
What was that?
No.
Not really.
I don't
no.
think I had a childhood.
No,
I also think
I feel like
I
I did.
forced myself to not have a childhood. Because I was just always like, I need to become somebody and I need to take care of my family. So like,
It was and wasn't
that's
my
just always
choice.
me.
I mean, I think I always had like an underlying pressure being from an immigrant family to always like try to succeed. But I mean, I think I had a great childhood. I mean, I have two older sisters that I spent time with. I played basketball, did track, did the whole 9 yards. And then I think my childhood really ended probably when I was like in 7th grade. After that, I just was focused a lot on business.
No. I'm like, I'm grateful for
nigga,
the
that's a
childhood
short-ass
like I had,
childhood,
but I
nigga.
don't think it's traditional whatsoever.
Oh,
like,
agreed.
it's so different. Like, I put like every element of myself online for people to judge, and it was hard. It was really hard, but I still had fun. Like, I definitely did stupid things,
yeah.
which I'm I'm so grateful for. I look back and I'm like, yeah, okay, I had fun still, which is really what matters to me.
Would you trade your money for your childhood?
No.
I thought about it.
They're like, hell no,
I
fuck
didn't
that.
really have very much of a childhood because my parents were working from morning to night. So that's why I went online to seek a community and people to talk to. I would play games on my PC and stream that to talk to people, and that's where I am today. But that's also the reason why
Damn,
my
look at
mom
your
lives
boy.
with me now, is because I feel like she never got to raise me and I never got a mother figure in my life. So that's kind of why I'm mending that relationship now, so that we both feel like, you know,
I've
she
thought
was my
about it.
parent.
I've thought about it, though. Like, definitely. Like, sometimes, like, when I call, like, my friends that are in college and they're telling me, like, their biggest problem is, like, their history test, I'm like,
I wish
dude,
I had
like,
that.
please, bro, please make that my problem, like, my biggest priority, you know? So sometimes when I think on that standpoint, I definitely consider it. Like, yeah, the money's great, everything's great, but again, we all kind of talked about like how much do we value money. Like sometimes I do value the other things as well, like the actual personal experiences. You know, I wouldn't mind being with my friends right now in the basement, you know, watching sports and, you know, hanging out. Like I would not mind that at all. Like, but You know, we make the hard decisions. That's the thing. We all made the hard decision, and you know.
I mean, we're all faced with very tough challenges and problems.
Yeah.
But we also get the other half of that, which is all the success and the money and the notoriety.
Comes with it. Hi, I'm Aaron. I'm an entrepreneur in the e-commerce space and a business consultant. For a great entrepreneur, you definitely have to be a kind of a to your own. You know, you have to be a person that is able to motivate yourself. Being able to be alone, a lot of people aren't able to not be social. So antisocial, I think, is kind of with it. Like when I see people that are entrepreneurs, if they can't be on their own, they are gonna struggle.
Anyone can make themselves a millionaire. 3, 2, 1, go.
Really?
Oh,
I think so.
There's so much free advertising, YouTube.
I mean, the reason why.
What's your argument to say that not everyone can make themselves a millionaire? Is it the like non-equality thing or like resources?
If you really look at the likelihood, you have to make $1,000 1,000 times, which is just insane. Like, I think everyone can try their hardest, but you won't always get the right exposure to have $1 million put into. You won't always get the right opportunities. It's easy for us because we've done it to be like, well, I did it, so anybody else can do it. But there are many people that do exactly what we do, but yet you are in the position you're in for a reason. There's a lot of people that build apps and have like a company surrounded by that. There's a lot of people that have done crypto and now their lives are in shambles. There's a lot of people that have done drop shipping and it was the worst thing they ever did. There's a lot of people that have built different companies and it was next to nothing. And there's millions and millions of bloggers on YouTube and it's amounted to nothing. Even for me, I know so many people that trade and I'm like, it's gonna be very hard for you to get to where I'm at because I traded and built a company, but to trade to $1 million is insane.
But it's still possible for them to do it, no?
It's possible, but to say anyone?
But,
but here's the thing.
But also the
technically, like, if you're looking at it as a standpoint, anybody can, you know?
Mean, the reason why, I mean, I also think I'm very privileged, to be honest with you, because I have, like, my mentor, he comes from, like, the projects.
This girl just keep moving.
From the projects, and he's worth 9 figures. So for me, I go, if he came from that circumstance in life.
But I also think that most of us are in the US and that's where a lot of money is made, but a lot of people don't get granted a visa to come here. Think about the people that don't have internet. They don't have the library to go to get the internet. And also think about the people that from their family situation, for some reason now they're homeless. And in order to, people always say, well then get a job, but in order to get a job, you need to be able to have a home address and not everybody has that. It's just those little things that we don't think about to even get to that first step of getting a job.
But here's the thing, right? Like you were mentioning earlier, you're basically saying that, oh, people's life are in shambles because of crypto or Forex, but it's very rarely the mistake of external factors. It's because they did a mistake along the way, right? They were too reckless with their research and they just dumped all their money into it. I feel like the reason why I'm here, I wish there's maybe another one, but it's because I feel like it is possible, but depending on your circumstance, it could be exponentially harder, right? If you're like someone from like Ethiopia who has no internet access, for instance, then of course it's gonna be so much harder, but it's still possible. I mean, if you
but
like you're saying.
What would you recommend they should do?
I mean,
think
I don't know. I'm not
if you
that.
say like it's easier, because I'm Nigerian. I recently just came from Nigeria. They get paid like $100 a month, and that's insane to them. So I feel like if you're gonna say, okay, well, if you don't have internet access, it's still possible. Give an example of how it's possible.
I know someone who's actually Nigerian, but then there was a public library he went to, which was like 3 hours away, and then he created cryptocurrency from that. So while I feel like to say it's impossible is too much, because I believe nothing in this universe is impossible.
No, that's
There's
true.
always a certain extent where something can be achieved. I think, you know, even the most crazy situation is 99.99% impossible, but nothing's 100% impossible, right? So I feel like to say there's a type of person that can 100% can't be a millionaire is very rare.
But it's not about making money. There's a certain type of person that a millionaire. That's
a crazy
completely
thing to say.
different.
Yeah, but anything's possible.
I think, okay, if somebody asked you, right, to put it in your terms, what is
facts.
your prediction for Bitcoin, for example? You wouldn't tell them anything's possible, it could go to 100 million.
No.
You would actually back it up with actual like facts and statistics as to why. So when I think of just logically thinking, can anyone become a millionaire? It's like, you want to back that up, and if you say, I mean, yeah, they barely get paid and they don't live in a house and they're eating and drinking water from a river, but anything's possible. It's like, where do you think somebody's going to magically come down and be like, this is how you're going to get from this level to
I think it's also a mindset. I think truly it's a mindset. Like you have to be mentally strong enough to go through the work, put like your all into something.
Pause. Can you choose a side, if you can?
This is a hard question.
No, I'm staying in the middle.
Defend it.
There you go.
This girl just walking everywhere, bro.
I mean,
She
I
don't know
just
where
haven't
she
done
at.
research on third world countries, but if you, like, it is possible. Like, again, you may have to take that 4-hour walk to that pop-up library with like one antenna or whatever the case may be. But again, it's possible.
Yeah, but at the same time, like she shifted me on this side because what she said is 100% true. You know, it is theoretically possible. You know, just, even though it isn't anyone can become a millionaire. You know, because like. If even a 0.001% chance, let's say you have the worst situation possible, even though, you know, it is theoretically possible, in a real world scenario, that's not true. It's like saying, you know, what's the probability you roll a dice and then it lands on the edge instead of any other number, while there's like a really small probability. At the same time, you can't say, oh yeah, it's possible, you know, because it's like such a small chance, which is why I'm more on this side now.
Yeah, I think I just recently took a trip back to Vietnam, and my parents immigrated from there, and I think I just realized that you guys are talking about these online services make money, but a lot of places don't even have banks. They run on cash.
Do you need a bank to be a millionaire?
No, because cash.
But then how are people going to, in those countries,
that's true.
make money to be a millionaire?
Then maybe the way to become a millionaire from one of those countries is get out of the country.
But you can't just get out of the
I
country.
understand
I'm
that.
somebody
Okay,
that had to wait 2
That is
years.
hard.
Yeah, I'm somebody that had to wait like 2 to 3 years to be able to get my visa, and now I'm granting my employees' visas, my parents' visas, and it's a very difficult process. People sit there and wait on their computers and pray one day that they can win the lottery for the
visa
visas,
lottery,
and
yeah.
that changes
That's
people's
hard.
lives. But a lot of people on that day are just, they don't get their visas, and they realize, you know, this is gonna be my life for the rest of my life, and it's very hard on them.
Yeah, because America's strict.
So I know a lot of immigrants myself that have came to the States or other countries or immigrated from one place to the other and built massively successful businesses. And a lot of that stems from the work ethic part. That's why I'm so big on it. I think it's very brutal in every way, shape, or form to run a business regardless of where you're from. I think it's a lot easier in the States, of course, but I really just hold the belief in my heart very, very strongly that anyone can do anything that they want regardless of the circumstances if you have the will and the power and the drive to do so.
It isn't just about a mentality
Still
issue.
It's
Oh yeah, but come on, you can't be like,
That's
Sound like
what
cover.
we're here with over here.
I don't want to tell someone that they have no chance.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah,
has a
There's
chance.
always a chance.
no chance, no, but it's close to
miracles
no,
happen.
infinitesimally close to no chance.
Yeah, but that's not enough.
Infinitesimally. Damn,
We
nigga.
all experience different parts of life, very privileged parts of life. I think it's very hard to speak on something unless you've been there. I've been to the village in Nigeria. I've seen how difficult it is. When you see it live, then you realize just how difficult it is and just how privileged we are. So it's easy for us to be like, they could just start oil or steel or whatever, but then another thing you have to think of is the government, you know, and the different patriarchy systems and just how they run. And I fully believe, same thing, whatever you put your mind to, you can do. I'm a firm believer in that, but I also I'm very open and knowledgeable to the fact that where we are at and the fact that we are teen millionaires, and that's a title because it's so rare, just goes to show the fact that it's vastly, vastly impossible for many people.
It's crazy that how similar I feel like we all have
That
like,
was
similar
good, dog.
experiences, even though we all come from different backgrounds.
Yeah, I was shocked a lot of times my opinion shifted halfway through the conversation because I realized, oh, I didn't see it in that light.
I have met a lot of successful people,
Damn, that
but
was
nobody
good,
my
bro.
age. And just to meet these people, they're a great group of people. We all click so well, and we're honestly thinking of planning a trip.